Vietnamese coffee is so strong, from global economics to street culture. On a misty morning in Doc Loc, a farmer named Lam stands beside rows of coffee trees heavy with ripening cherries. The Central Highlands stretch endlessly behind him, red basalt soil, warm humidity, and sunlight diffused through drifting clouds. Lam wipes his forehead and laughs when asked why Vietnamese coffee tastes so strong. "It has to be strong," he says. "Our coffee grows in tough soil, survives tough times, and keeps us going." His words, meant simply, capture a deeper economic, agricultural, and cultural truth. Vietnamese coffee is strong because Vietnam itself is strong. The economic backbone behind a bold brew. 1. Vietnam's strategic choice. Robusta as a national crop. While nearly 70% of the coffee consumed globally is Arabica, Vietnam chose a very different path. Today, 90 to 95% of Vietnamese coffee production is Robusta, making the country the world's largest Robusta exporter and the second largest coffee producer overall, after Brazil. This was not a stylistic decision, it was an economic one. Economic advantages of Robusta: higher yield per hectare, lower production costs, resistance to pests and diseases, minimal need for shade trees or high-altitude microclimates, faster maturation time. These traits allowed Vietnam to transform from a war-torn, agriculture-based economy in the 1980s into a global coffee powerhouse worth more than $4 billion in annual exports. In 2023, Vietnam exported over 1.7 million tons of coffee, the vast majority of which fueled instant coffee production, espresso blends, and global supply chains that depend on Robusta's caffeine strength. 2. Climate, soil, and the science of strength. The Central Highlands, Doc Loc, Gia Lai, Con Tum, Lam Dong, form one of the world's most productive Robusta belts. Natural advantages include rich volcanic basalt soil, ideal for deep root systems, altitudes of 400 to 800 meters, perfect for Robusta cultivation, well-distributed tropical rainfall, warm temperatures year-round. These conditions create beans that are higher in caffeine, higher in chlorogenic acids, dense, bitter, and full-bodied. In other words, nature designed Vietnamese coffee to be strong. Even post-harvest traditions, natural drying, semi-washed processing, enhance earthiness and depth, reinforcing that signature intensity. 3. A commodity shaped by history and markets. French colonists first introduced coffee to Vietnam in the 19th century. Arabica plantations struggled. Robusta thrived. During wartime and economic hardship, when milk was scarce, condensed milk from France became the natural substitute. Families stretched limited coffee supplies by roasting beans darker and brewing them stronger. These forces created a national taste for coffee damn, a flavor that remained even when the economy grew and supply chains opened. Fast forward to today. As climate change threatens Arabica crops and global demand for caffeine rises, Robusta is experiencing a renaissance, reaching its highest international price in over 30 years. Vietnam sits at the center of this shift. 2. The cultural and tourism side. Coffee as a way of life. If economics explain the strength, culture explains its soul. 1. The Phin filter. Slow, intentional, uniquely Vietnamese to a traveler, the Phin is often the first introduction to Vietnam's calm amid chaos. A metal filter. A few spoonfuls of dark Robusta. Boiling water. A slow, steady drip. No electricity. No paper filters. Just patience. The Phin brews coffee at a pace that forces you to slow down, even in a city as fast as Saigon. Its brewing method extracts the fullest amount of flavor and caffeine, producing a cup that can deliver 150 to 200 milligrams of caffeine, far stronger than standard American drip coffee. For many tourists, this is the moment Vietnamese coffee becomes a memory, not just a beverage. 2. Street coffee culture. Vietnam's open-air living room across the country. Coffee is enjoyed on plastic stools on sidewalks, inside minimalist cafes, on beaches, and under banyan trees. Foreign visitors often describe Vietnamese street coffee as a lifestyle. Not just a drink, a window into daily life. A place where time slows down even while the city speeds up. Here's what makes it unique. Accessibility. A cup often costs 80 cents to $1.20, making it democratic and widely enjoyed. Creativity. Vietnam invented egg coffee, coconut coffee, salted coffee, yogurt coffee, mandarin peel coffee. Each city puts its cultural fingerprint on the drink. Social ritual. Friends gather for hours, discussing business, football, or politics. Coffee is not rushed, it is savored. In tourism surveys, coffee consistently ranks in the top 3 most memorable experiences for visitors, alongside motorbike traffic and street food. 3. The global rise of Vietnamese coffee tourism. As Vietnam's specialty Robusta gains international recognition, a new form of tourism is emerging. Visitors now book coffee farm tours in Buon Ma Thuot, barista workshops in Hoi An, Phin brewing classes in Hanoi, coffee tasting flights in Dalat, urban cafe crawls in Saigon. International travelers increasingly seek authentic cultural experiences. And Vietnamese coffee delivers exactly that, a story shaped by land, labor, and lifestyle. Coffee has become both an economic export and a cultural export, a bridge connecting Vietnam to the world. 3. The final blend. Strength as identity. Vietnamese coffee is strong because the economy shaped it, the soil nurtured it, and the culture embraced it. It carries with it the resilience of farmers like Lam in the Central Highlands, the ingenuity born from colonial and wartime shortages, the slow ritual of the Phin, the vibrancy of street life from Hanoi to Saigon, and the global future of Robusta in an evolving coffee industry. To drink Vietnamese coffee is to taste the intersection of economics, agriculture, history, and human connection. It is to taste Vietnam, bold, adaptable, and unforgettable.